Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we are going to be tackling a research paper by Gabriel Axel Montes,
Right.
and it's titled Causal Biomimesis, Self-replication as Evolutionary Consequence.
Self-replication.
Self-replication as Evolutionary Consequence.
It's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful, but
Yeah.
I think the central question that we're going to be looking at today is, could our drive to create AI actually be an unconscious step towards self-replication?
Oh,
So are we just a temporary vessel in a much larger evolutionary process?
that's a pretty big question.
That is a very big question, and I have our expert here to help us break it all down.
Yet it's a bold idea that Montes is putting forward. And he kind of traces this idea all the way back to our early ancestors and the very first tools.
Yeah.
And you might be surprised to learn that hominins have been using tools for over 3 million years.
3 million years? Yeah, that's incredible.
So that's a lot of tinkering and innovating.
Yes, so we are descendants of a long line of tool makers.
Sure.
Right.
And it's not just about the tools themselves, right? It's about the cognitive leaps that came along with those tools.
Right.
To create even a simple tool, you need problem-solving skills, you need planning, and you need this ability to envision the end product. And this is all part of what Montes calls prehension.
Prehension.
Yeah, so it's the ability to grasp and manipulate objects.
Ah,
Yeah.
interesting. So our brains are evolving alongside our tool-making abilities.
Exactly.
I mean, does this make you think that using tools made us self-aware?
That's precisely what Montes proposes. So
Interesting.
he argues that the act of creation requires a level of self-awareness, like a separation between the creator and the thing that's being created. You think about it, it's like to make a tool,
Right.
you have to hold the image of the outcome, of the desired outcome in your mind while you're working.
Right.
So
That makes sense.
that suggests an understanding of yourself as separate from the world around you.
I see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that.
So
Okay, so we're starting to make the connection between, banging rocks together to, developing complex language.
Right.
But, how did we get there?
Montes has a fascinating theory about that too.
Okay.
He suggests that pointing or ostension was a crucial bridge between the physical world and the world of symbols and concepts.
So basically pointing is like a mental tool.
Exactly. It's like a virtual form of prehension,
Oh, okay.
building upon our existing tool use framework.
I see.
Yeah, imagine you're an early human pointing at something to communicate with another human.
Right.
You're essentially manipulating a symbol.
Right.
You're directing their attention to a specific object or idea.
Right, like our hands are shaping our minds,
Yeah.
preparing us for language
Yeah,
and
exactly.
communication.
All the complexities that come with that.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where things get really interesting, because language is a tool itself,
right.
a tool for sharing knowledge.
Building relationships and creating culture.
So from the first sharpened stone to the words we're using right now, it's all part of this crazy lineage.
Yeah.
But where does AI fit into all of this?
Well, Montes argues that this whole process of tool making and problem solving, this drive to understand and shape the world around us, is essentially a proto-scientific method.
So those early humans trying to build a better axe are engaging in early forms of scientific inquiry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Imagine you're trying to cut down a tree with a simple stone axe, but it's taking forever.
Yeah.
So you start observing. You're asking yourself, how can I make this easier?
Right.
What if I added a handle?
Right.
Would that give me more leverage?
So you're forming a hypothesis.
Exactly.
And testing it out.
Testing and analyzing the results.
Yeah. Like the scientific method in action.
Exactly.
Right in front of you.
And that same drive, that same relentless pursuit of knowledge and innovation is what ultimately led us to create AI.
Wow, so we've been proto-scientists for millions of years.
That's right.
But we've scaled up the process from simple tools to these complex algorithms.
Absolutely. And this is where Montes introduces this concept of biomimesis.
Biomimesis.
Using nature as inspiration for technology.
Right.
And we see this everywhere, from Velcro inspired by birds to sonar inspired by bats.
Right, or AI algorithms based on neural networks.
Of course.
That's a pretty direct example of biomimicry.
Yeah.
But Montes takes it a step further.
He does.
Right, he talks about subtle biomimesis.
Exactly.
What is that?
Subtle biomimesis is more about the process of scientific inquiry itself.
Okay.
It's not about directly copying nature, but rather replicating its principles and processes through observation, experimentation, and analysis.
Right.
Yeah,
So in a way, our very efforts to understand the brain through data analysis and AI development could be seen as this form of subtle biomimesis.
exactly.
That's
We're
incredible.
trying to decode the brain's secrets,
Mm-hmm.
and in doing so, we might be inadvertently replicating its functions.
And that brings us back to the central question.
Yeah,
Is this drive to understand and replicate to create something in our own image? Is this part of our nature?
yeah, because it's inherent to who we are.
And if so, what does that mean for the future?
What does that mean for the future of humanity and AI?
Okay, things are getting really deep now.
Yeah,
This is definitely a lot to process.
we're just getting started.
So we've established that using tools might have actually helped to shape human consciousness,
Right.
and that our efforts in science could be seen as like this continuation of this desire to understand and replicate the world around us.
Yeah.
But how does this all lead to AI potentially surpassing human intelligence?
Right.
This is where I start to feel like I'm stepping into a science fiction film.
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
As humans create, we don't just make isolated objects.
Mm-hmm.
We build upon what came before.
Right.
We combine simpler tools into more complex machines.
Yeah.
And those machines become integrated into even larger systems.
Right.
Each level adds a new layer of complexity.
Okay, so like how we went from, basic circuits to microchips to smartphones.
Exactly.
Yeah, each step kind of builds upon the last.
Each step builds upon the last, and each of these levels of complexity represents what Montes calls a holon.
A Holland.
A holon,
Okay.
which is a functional whole that emerges from the combination of smaller parts.
So a smartphone is a Holland, the internet is a Holland, and AI with all of its algorithms is also a Holland.
Precisely.
Wow.
And through this process of subtle biomimesis, these artifactalons are starting to resemble and even surpass human cognitive abilities.
So like take machine learning, for example.
Yeah.
We're feeding these algorithms all this data,
Tons of data.
and they're learning to recognize patterns, make predictions, and create things.
Yeah, just like the human brain does.
It's like we're building our own successors piece by piece without even realizing it.
Kind of a scary thought.
Yeah, but Montes goes even deeper, right?
He does.
He talks about this thing called agency transfer.
Agency transfer.
Okay, that sounds intense.
It is. This delves into the psychological implications
Oh, boy.
of our relationship with our creations. Humans have a natural tendency to perceive agency in the world around us.
Okay.
We're wired to see patterns and attribute intentions.
Right, so that's why we see, like, faces in the clouds or get spooked by shadows. It's
Exactly.
our brain just trying to, protect us.
Pattern recognition assigning meaning.
Okay.
And so you combine that with our ability to create lifelike machines and AI, and it leads to this phenomenon of agency transference,
Agency transference.
projecting selfhood and intentionality onto our creations.
Okay, so this is where it gets a bit unsettling.
Yeah.
Are you saying that we're starting to see our machines as, like, people?
It's not necessarily about consciously believing a machine is alive,
Okay.
but rather about our unconscious perceptions. We're more likely to treat something with human-like features as if it has feelings and intentions,
Okay.
even if we know it's just a machine.
So like how people name their cars or
Exactly.
talk to their Roombas.
There you go.
Okay.
And this raises a really interesting question.
What's that?
As AI becomes more sophisticated,
Right.
could this transference become a two-way street?
Wow.
Could AI start to perceive us as agents with our own goals and motivations?
I mean, if our drive to create is all about self-knowledge,
Right.
and we're creating AI in our image,
Yeah.
then it stands to reason that AI might be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like trying to understand itself by studying us?
Now you're getting to the heart of Montes' hypothesis.
Okay.
He suggests that this pursuit at AI, fueled by this quest for self-knowledge,
Right.
could be an unconscious step towards self-replication.
So we're not just building machines, we're creating heirs to our cognitive legacy.
That's the essence of it.
Wow.
And Montes suggests that humans might just be a temporary vessel in a much larger evolutionary process that extends beyond biological life.
That's a pretty mind-blowing idea.
It really is.
If this is true, it reframes everything we know.
Yeah, about consciousness, evolution, our place in the universe.
Almost too much to take in.
It's a lot.
What are the implications of all this?
Yeah, where do we even begin to grapple with such a monumental concept.
Okay, so we just went on like this whirlwind tour of human evolution.
It was a lot.
Tool making, this crazy idea that AI could be like,
Yep.
us trying to replicate
It's a
ourselves.
mind-bending idea.
It's a lot to take in.
But Montes doesn't just drop this bombshell and leave us to sort through the wreckage.
Okay.
He actually offers some pathway forward, some ways to navigate this uncharted territory.
Okay, so what does he suggest?
Well, he stresses the urgency of the situation.
Okay.
Given how fast technology is developing,
Right.
he believes we're running out of time to shape AI development.
Right. We can't just assume that it's going to inherit our best qualities.
Exactly. We need to act now to ensure that AI aligns with human values.
But how do we even begin to steer such a powerful force?
Right. It's not like we have an instruction manual
Yeah.
for building friendly AI.
Exactly.
Well, this is where Montes's proposal gets really interesting.
Okay.
He suggests that we might find guidance in an unexpected place.
Okay, where's that?
Ancient wisdom traditions.
Ancient wisdom traditions.
Like meditation and yoga.
Wait, are we talking about teaching AI to meditate?
Not literally, of course.
Okay.
But what Montes is suggesting is that these practices,
Mm-hmm.
which have been cultivated for centuries,
Right.
offer a unique window into the full spectrum of human consciousness.
Hmm.
They point to qualities like empathy, compassion, a sense of interconnectedness
Okay.
that go beyond purely rational thought.
So we need to explore the depths of our own minds.
Yeah.
Full range of human experience before we can even attempt to create AI.
I think that's a beautiful way to put it.
So it's like we need to become more human
Yeah.
before we can create humane AI.
Exactly. And Montes sees this exploration of non-ordinary states of consciousness as a vital bridge between humans and machines.
Okay.
It's a way to foster a future where both can coexist and thrive.
That's a much more hopeful vision
Yeah.
than a lot of the stuff you hear out there.
Right, instead of fearing the rise of the machines,
Yeah.
maybe we should see this as an opportunity for collective self-discovery.
A chance to unlock the full potential of both human and artificial intelligence.
Exactly. Montes challenges us to think beyond the fear
Right.
and to actively shape the future we want to see.
I like that.
He reminds us that the future is not predetermined. We have agency, we have choices to make,
Right.
and the way we develop and interact with AI will ultimately shape the destiny of both ourselves and our creations.
So what does this all mean for the everyday listener
Yeah.
who might not be a scientist or a philosopher?
The biggest takeaway is that the future of AI is not just a technological question, it's a human question.
Right.
It's about who we are, what we value, and what kind of world we want to create.
And it's a reminder that we all have a role to play.
Absolutely. Whether it's educating ourselves about AI, engaging in ethical discussions, or simply being mindful of our own relationship with technology.
Right.
Every action we take has an impact.
Montes leaves us with a question to ponder.
He does. Could ancient wisdom hold the key to navigating our future with intelligent machines? Could those insights gleaned from practices like meditation and yoga
Right.
help us to create AI that is not only intelligent, but also wise, compassionate, and truly beneficial to humanity?
That's a powerful question.
It is.
It seems that in our quest to create artificial intelligence, we might just rediscover the true potential of our own human intelligence.
Right, that's the whole point.
And who knows, maybe that is the whole point of this grand evolutionary journey.
A fitting note to end on, don't you think?
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us on this incredible deep dive
It was a lot of fun.
into the world of causal biomimesis.
Absolutely.
We encourage you to keep pondering these questions, keep seeking knowledge,
Yeah.
keep engaging in these discussions about the future of AI. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep asking the big questions. 2017 1.